Hey everyone, what is going on? My name is Matthew Oliver with Stillwater Alchemy, and today we're going to be diving into this Gemini new moon. What does it mean? How we can use this energy, and much more. So, Gemini is known for being verbose, gregarious. It's a mutable air sign ruled by Mercury. However, when I was preparing for this workshop, the one key thing that kept coming through was brevity is the soul of wit, which is a line from Shakespeare's Hamlet. And this I was thinking about in the sense of cutting through an illusion. What is real and what's not? What is your truth versus what's a projected idea or thought or belief from others? We're going to be going into that, especially when we look at what's going on with this new moon. But I really want you to think about that. What is your truth? What is your belief around a certain topic? And are we making things overly complicated based to programming, based on our past, based on fears that may or may not be even real? We've talked about this if you are accustomed to my work and my content in the sense of even just in spirituality in general, but we talked a lot about this during the eclipses that we just had during Taurus season. What's real right now? So in this moment, if we're going to talk about the present moment, like a lot of spiritual gurus do, what's true right now for you can be whatever you want it to be. What you have experienced in the past does not have to continue on from this point forward. You're allowed to choose whatever you want. You can literally write down a new narrative, claim a new identity, affirm your dreams, and go from that point forward. Where most people, I believe, get hung up on are things like family conditioning, relationships, career, and the fear of how is this going to work? How am I going to make money? How am I going to receive love if I completely let go of what I am used to, what I've been conditioned to believe is successful, comfortable, stable, secure? And I think we've all been there in certain aspects of our life, whether we went through a move, a breakup, a career change, whatever that is, of going through the initial stress or halfway through thinking, how is it going to work? Am I going to be okay? But going back to the beliefs and claiming whatever we want in this current moment. I see this a lot in general with humans telling on themselves with their actions and inactions. But let's just say your friend said, hey, I'm going to meet you at a restaurant for 7 p.m. This location, this date. And you're like, great, I'll meet you there for 7. You show up there for 7 o'clock and your friend doesn't show up at all. You're likely to be maybe a little bit confused. Maybe you think they're late. Maybe you're concerned. Now it's 7:15, 7:30, 7:45, 8. You're like, okay, something's obviously wrong, or they forgot, or they misscheduled. And then the friend says, oh, like, I didn't mean that. Like, what is going on? We agreed that we meet at 7 o'clock at this restaurant at this time, or like this date. Why didn't you show up? When we say something, anything, it can be cynical, it can be self-deprecating humor, it can be whatever it is. The universe, our subconscious, will take that as serious. Like, especially our subconscious mind, it doesn't discern good versus bad. Humans are the one that judge good versus bad, which we're also going to talk about a little bit in this workshop too. Brevity is the soul of wit, but there's also a few things I want to talk about in this workshop. So who knows, it might end up being like an hour. It could be 20 minutes. Stay tuned. However, I just hear humans, and sometimes I'll even catch myself. Of course, I'm also human in this timeline, but you say, and we say things, and then we get confused as to why things happen, or we claim certain identities, and then we struggle as to why a dream or a belief isn't happening in a timeline or in a way that we think it should. Another common example I see throughout social media is I'm a single parent, I'm a single mom, I'm a single dad, single. And they're saying how they're having a troubled time attracting a partner, maintaining a relationship. Well, you have claimed an identity and are still claiming I am a single parent. And again, there might be certain beliefs or ego attached to being a single parent, what that means to support your child or children, what that means for you, and maybe thinking it gives you some type of something to claim that identity. Whatever you think the outcome is, whether it's conscious or subconscious, by saying, I am a single parent. And that goes for any identity that I claim. I am a business owner. I am a sister. I am a lover, whatever that is. We get to claim whatever identity you want any single day. You can also just claim, I am a multimillionaire. The thing is, where people can get stuck up on that is, if you don't truly believe that you are a multimillionaire, or you get hung up on, it's like, well, the money isn't in my bank account right now. How can I just say this affirmation and it's not coming in? I'm not getting that job. I'm not winning the lottery. How can I make this work? How does this all make sense? If you don't truly believe it, then you can just change I'm a multimillionaire to money is all around me. It's getting easier and easier for me to attract money. Money flows to me with ease. I'm getting more and more comfortable with money. I'm understanding how to make money easier. That way, these are things that any of us can hear, believe, and take on, which can then manifest as multimillionaire, billionaire, whatever status you want or mindset with regards to wealth. The last example I want to give before looking at the transits, I see a lot of times with people when they're going through health issues, whether they're in pain, whether it's a chronic illness, that again, they affirm that as they say, I have, or I am blank, like I am diabetic, I have a chronic illness, da, 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 da. And I'm not negating that, the pain, what you're going through. But if, again, we're claiming this and it's now part of your identity and how you connect with others, why maybe you're not able to show up to put in the time or the work for your dreams or anything like that. Easy ways to just shift this. Again, we're talking with Mercury here because it's the ruling planet of Gemini and of this lunation. We can say, my body is getting stronger. The pain is decreasing. I am now overcoming this illness, this disease. My health is getting stronger and stronger every day. And if you are doing it from a holistic standpoint, you're taking the medication, whatever it is, then all of these things are true. It's just shifting it from focusing on one energetic form to another. So instead of being the friend that shows up at a restaurant at 7 p.m. and not getting the connection, you're like, well, I want to get healthier, but why am I still dealing with this health issue? So instead, we can just say, my body's getting stronger. Boom. That can be the equivalent of someone showing up at the exact same time they say, because now you are calling in something very specific, your health increasing, and you are letting go of that identity, that narrative. But I wanted to emphasize that as well. And all of us can be honest and introspective as, why are we claiming certain things? Why are we identifying ourselves in certain ways? Why are we speaking the way that we speak? A lot of times it can be that these things are true and we want to express how we feel. And again, it's two different things. You can still be going through maybe a turbulent time with your health, and there could be days where it's extremely painful, but you can shift in a way that's saying, I'm getting better. My body is healing, versus I'm in a lot of pain. I can't show up into work today. Whatever that narrative is. And just identifying what your go-to wording or your go-to belief is around maybe an area that you're struggling with right now, so that we can understand how our words motivate our beliefs, how our beliefs dictate our actions, and actions leading to results. And that's something, again, I'll put it in the description of this video as just a way to think about that. What are your thoughts? What are your beliefs? What are your actions? What are your results? If you believe it's hard to lose weight because someone said that when you were younger, it's likely that maybe you won't put in a lot of time or energy into maybe your nutrition, working out, believing that it's possible for you to have a certain level of health or strength in your body, because you believe for someone like you, from your genetic predisposition, that's just going to be extremely difficult to either lose weight or become healthy. So you're not even going to try. Instead, we can just flip that and say, it's extremely easy for me to become stronger. I attract people who want to support me in my health journey. I'm now choosing to be an advocate for my own health and seek out resources that are going to empower me in this arena, in this field, and see how things shift. And again, this isn't a one-time flash in the pan. It's a consistent practice of using your words, of using your mind to focus your energy to receive a positive result. I think all my clients, if they've ever worked with me once or long-term, I'm very particular on words. I don't allow things to slide. I'm not just trying to placate them, because I'll hear certain things like, well, why are we saying that? Why do we believe that? One client I had the other day, she said, it's so insane. Every time we talk, my website goes off and I get a sale. I'm like, well, why is that insane? If you are speaking with someone who is helping you to expand, helping you to call in more, then a natural manifestation of that would be, in this case, of calling in more money or more resources to help expand you in that moment. And this, again, is something that we talk about, but sometimes people have a hard time believing. If someone told you right away, give me $10, tomorrow I'll give you $100, guaranteed. You give them $10, the next day they give you $100. Then they say, give me $20, I'll give you $2,000 tomorrow. You're like, okay, great. And they give you $2,000. If you just had the belief that every time you invested into higher, more expansive spaces, that it was always going to bless you exponentially at some point in your life, would you do it? Of course. There'd be no reason to doubt it. But I just hear clients all the time say, well, what if it doesn't work this time? What if it, like, I've exhausted my manifestation skills, my luck, my beliefs, whatever they believe? Why would it not work? You are getting stronger. You are getting more resourceful. You are becoming more powerful with your ability to call in, to hold, to influence, to negotiate, whatever it may be. In this case, in a business sense, it's just all fear. So if we can understand the projection, the illusion, the fear could be maybe in certain parts of the world right now, the debt ceiling, recession, talks of recession, stocks. And it's like, well, I can't do this right now because there's no money. People are not spending money. Is that true? No. Go out and go into any shop, people are spending money. But if you believe that because someone said it to you in conversation, you took that in, and now your actions are now reflecting that, that's what we're trying to get here. So remember, thoughts, motivating beliefs, influencing action, which are dictating results. So let us look at the astrology for this Gemini new moon. So it's occurring Pacific Standard Time on Saturday, June 17th. So for many time zones, it's going to be happening in the early hours of Sunday, June 18th. But over this weekend, this new moon activation is happening. So of course, if you are someone with strong mutable energy, Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, and Virgo, you're going to be feeling this. Of course, if you have strong Gemini, this will be activating you. The one big thing is that Mercury was basically making a direct aspect to Saturn this entire week leading up to this new moon. So given that Mercury is a ruling planet of Gemini, it's a ruling planet of this lunation, we want to really pay attention to this energy. And Saturn gets a bad rap a lot of times because of Saturn returns, fear-mongering, ignorance, if I'm giving my honest opinion. Saturn also represents mastery. When you put in hours, years, decades worth of time and energy into a certain field, into a certain mindset, things are going to shift. You are going to have such power in your boundaries, in your discernment, when someone comes up to you and is like, oh yeah, this is what's true. And you're like, no, that might be your truth. It's not my truth. Because you have put in the hours, you have put in the long yards to have such a focused energy backed by Saturn. And I say that because with a square, there is this tension between maybe your thoughts, how you use your voice, linked to Saturn in the sign of Pisces, which can be extremely emotional. It can also be very creative, very romantic. So, of course, if you want a more localized snapshot of how this new moon is going to activate you, look at the house in your natal chart ruled by Gemini. And then secondly, the house ruled by Pisces, because that's going to show you where this tension is, where you're likely being called to either have more discernment, greater boundaries, or are calling to invest more time, energy, or money into your voice, into your mind, into your business, your career. Because remember, Mercury also rules commerce. If you want to like think of Mercury as an archetype, it can be like a vacuum salesman, kind of like going door to door, trying to sell, using its words to negotiate, to entice this energy. And again, a vacuum would be a technological device. So if you want to like have an archetype that can represent Mercury, think of a vacuum salesman. Someone who's very verbose, gregarious, charming, wants to make the coins, can see a lot of people in one day. That's Mercury. Secondly, we just talked about thoughts, beliefs, actions, results. If you are not achieving what you want, remember that both Gemini and Pisces are mutable signs. Mutable is extremely malleable. It can adapt, it can pivot. That's one of its strengths. It's not like a fixed sign, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, where it's meant to stay and really hunker or anchor down in one place. It is meant, even Gemini specifically, is that social butterfly energy. So if you are feeling stagnant or stuck, switch it up. Even for me, I am a Capricorn rising, which means that Gemini rules my 6th whole sign house. And I'm literally going to be starting to work out with a new personal trainer right after this new moon. So on the Monday. And he's a Virgo. And my last trainer in Toronto was an Aries. And it's just 2 completely different styles. And the workout that I had with the Virgo was like an intro and a consult, was very Virgo in the sense of there's a mechanism, there's a why, the actions, the layout, while also being very accommodating, being of service to my needs, which I feel like Virgo does in spades a lot of times. And at one point I was just like collapsed on the floor, like hands and knees, dripping in sweat. And not that kind of workout, but I was just very impressed with how switching up a few different things literally left me like destroyed, but in the best way possible. Like my body was hurting so much. And I share that because it's this mutable energy of shaking things up, because I was just doing the workouts when I first moved to Vancouver that I would do with my trainer in Toronto, which were good, had a certain rhythm, had a certain structure. But then working out with this trainer for even just one time, I was like, yes, this is an energy. This is a relationship that I wish to invest into. And so if you know, especially given that Mercury has such strong essential dignity, strong power in the sign of Gemini, this part of your chart right now is so activated to begin something new, to cultivate a new relationship. Now, in addition to this Mercury square Saturn that we've been working with all week leading up to this new moon, we also have both the sun and moon making a direct applied square to Neptune. So this is going to manifest in a couple of different ways, which I wish to share. One, if you have strong mutable activation in your chart, especially in these late degrees, let's say between 23, 24, and 29 degrees of Gemini, Pisces, Sagittarius, and Virgo, it might feel overwhelming. You might feel like you're in an existential crisis, or maybe that you're just like, you don't know where to go. Maybe you're feeling lost. This, in my opinion, will likely get easier. You'll feel like you're navigating out of this storm, out of this fog, out of this mist, which can be very Neptunian after this. Secondly, for everyone on a macro level, what are your dreams? Period. Dreams, whether it's from a physical sense or a metaphysical sense, are very Neptune, especially Neptune in Pisces. So if, again, it's kind of going back to that restaurant analogy, if you are saying that you want to be a parent, a lover, reach new heights in your career, but your actions are doing the exact opposite, now is a time to course correct, kind of recalibrate that compass to ensure that what you are doing is in alignment with that. And this can also be the mutable energy we talked about of switching things up, that you need to connect with different people, initiate different actions to get closer to your dreams. And remember, with Gemini being an air sign, it really is linked to that communication. Our thoughts, what we are taking on every single day, social media, new books, new knowledge. This can also be a great energy too, in terms of your dreams. Like, okay, are there new podcasts, new books, new mentors? Given this is a new moon, are there new energies and relationships that are calling out to you at this time? And then third of all, this can sometimes be with like Neptune. It's something that can just be very fantasy oriented. It can be a time where you take a step back from the mundane or from the everyday activities that you engage in and allow yourself to go into either a creative space, whether it's a studio, whether it's a park, wherever you feel inspired and creative, to readdress things. So we're not going in the hustle and bustle of our day-to-day. We're taking time to dip into either prayer, meditation, a studio, to tap into this higher power, this higher creative energy, to see what is needed of us to grow and expand. And the last thing I want to mention here before we move on to the meditation is that the days after this new moon, so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, are all very, very strong days. Specifically, Sunday, June 18th, for everyone across the board, because then the moon will be in Cancer, her home sign, making a sextile to Jupiter in Taurus. Jupiter is exalted in Taurus. The moon is exalted. Jupiter is exalted in the sign of Cancer, and the moon is exalted in the sign of Taurus. So there's very strong reception between the moon and Jupiter on Sunday, June 18th. What does that mean? It's a great day for new beliefs, new action, new energy. Everything comes down to intention. And if we truly believe it within our body so that we can shift, okay? Two more things, Gemini energy. One, is something bad? Why do you believe something is bad? Whether it is nutrition, whether it is ambition, whether it is love and romance. We place so many judgments on ourselves and on others, which take us away from love. Something that was coming up a lot in consults and in client sessions leading up to this was nutrition. So I want to share that just because Jupiter and Taurus can also bring us back to nutrition as well. So I think it's a collective theme going on right now. If we judge ourselves for having a certain food or something like sugar, is sugar bad? Just the energy of sugar, is that bad? Yes or no? No, it gets broken down into calories. Calories are energy. Whether it's a carb, a fat, or a protein, it gets broken down to kilocalories, calories, just energy. So to judge yourself for eating something that has sugar, I'm sure all of us in our life at some point had sugar and we were just fine. Yes, maybe eating copious amounts of sugar every single day would not be wise. However, if you're working out maybe 2, 3, 4 hours a day and your body needs a lot of carbohydrates, sometimes the body doesn't really discern where it's getting those kilocalories. It just needs the energy. Not saying again that you're gonna eat all this sugar, but I lived with a roommate at one point who was competing in a bodybuilding show, and he just basically ate sweet potatoes, chicken, and would rotate with like grapefruits, things like that. Like it was so regimented. And there's of course other things. I'm not just saying he was just eating sweet potatoes and chicken, but he was basically eating a tub of Ben and Jerry's like every 2 to 3 days. He's like, yeah, I just had a 2-hour leg day. And my coach said like I can spike my metabolism, have this pint of Ben and Jerry's. And his body was shredded. His body fat percentage got very, very low. And I was like, okay, like you're eating these Ben and Jerry's regularly, like a whole pint, but he was working out so intensely. And again, when our body is just seeing energy come in the form of carbs, fats, or proteins, it doesn't say that it's good or bad. It just needs that energy source. But again, if you are sedentary and you are not using those carbohydrates to help fuel your body to have all this activity or need that much energy, it's going to get stored as fat in the event that you do need to break down this energy to then use it to partake in strenuous activity. But sugar alone is not bad. Caffeine alone is not bad. Alcohol in and of itself is not bad. When people are abusing it and the intention is to numb or to distract or a bid for your body to rest, that's where it goes into. So I wanted to bring that up as, are we judging certain things in our life because people have told us that it's not good? People have led us to believe that if we engage in that relationship, that activity, that we are somehow wrong or dirty or less than. Number one. Number two, be very, very mindful of all the energy, all the words that you're taking in every single day. Could you imagine if some random person from Timbuktu airdropped 10 years worth of their photos onto your iPhone or transferred it onto your computer, 10 years worth of photos from their entire life. So you're now trying to scroll on your phone through your photos to find certain images, but there's 10 years worth of one person's photos. You have to like delete. It's like, how did these photos get on? You had to go hand select each photo. Now imagine that times 10, 50, 100 per day. Every time we were on social media, every time we were taking on other people's thoughts and energies, it's like they're pouring all of their energy into our subconscious mind. If you are not hyper diligent with skimming and taking that out, and that also includes reading the comments, which I also can enjoy sometimes in terms of what the collective is experiencing, certain lingo, what's going on. Sometimes it's good to keep your finger on the pulse. But if you are not clearing that energy, if you're not being mindful and going through your phone, let's say each day in this photo analogy, and deleting these photos from your phone, you're going to wake up one day and have all these thoughts and fears and ideas that aren't even yours. You're going to have all these photos that aren't yours. So truly be very, very careful with the energy you're taking on from social media. That's all. Okay. So, as always, if you have any questions on anything discussed or fun manifestations that come through around this Gemini new moon, or things you've already been experiencing with this Mercury square Saturn, or things that are activating your Gemini house or Gemini and Pisces house, please feel free to share. And when you're ready, we are going to work on this meditation. I have one intention in mind on how I think the meditation is going to go, but I also want to be open to this mutable change as we are in it. So stay tuned and see how this plays out. So when you're ready, I invite you to close your eyes, taking a nice deep breath in and exhale as you allow yourself to get comfortable in your body, bringing your eyes upward, back, breathing in and exhale. I want you to focus your energy in between your eyes, around your third eye chakra. Imagine this beautiful violet energy emerging from your third eye, surrounding your entire body. Allowing this violet energy to grow and expand to fill up the entire room that you're currently in. Noticing what's coming through. If there's any judgments or thoughts from the day, allow this to be released from your body and your auric field, for this energy to be recycled back into the collective. If it's meant to serve you, it'll always come back to you. And if it's been weighing on your heart or on your mind, let that go. Breathing in and exhale. Notice how this violet energy makes your body feel. Is there tingling in different parts of your body? Is there a curiosity, thoughts, ideas, downloads that are coming through? I want you to bring your energy up to your crown chakra, the top of your head, and envision that crown expanding, growing bigger and bigger and bigger, allowing the channel between you and your higher self and source energy to open, connecting you back with your truth, with your dreams, connecting back with love, passion, inspiration, creativity, purpose, power. And as you allow this channel to open, as this beautiful violet light and energy is protecting you. I want you to bring to focus a dream that you are calling in, a manifestation, a heart's desire, something that you want with your entire being. This can be a new dream that has come through recently, or something you've wanted your entire life. Giving gratitude to this energy, giving gratitude to this energetic source of passion, of joy, of inspiration, of drive. This beautiful energy that you've carved out from the ether, that's handmade, that's custom for you. And there could be multiple dreams that are coming through. And if so, welcome them all with open arms. But again, be very intentional with embodying the energy of these dreams to really feel them in your heart and soul. And as you do so, be open to any downloads, any symbols, any words, a direction opening up before you of what is needed to bring these dreams to the next level. Breathing in and exhale. And if you look up, you're going to see a winged figure. This angelic energy has a huge grin on their face. There's no gender attached to it. They're wielding a beautiful staff. And their energy is almost like the Tasmanian devil. They're bouncing from corner to corner of your auric field, ready to help you, ready to serve. I am Mercury, they say. What do you need? How can I be of service? This is your opportunity to ask a question, to get crucial information, ideas, facts, a connection with another soul that is needed for this next part of the journey. At this time, connect with the energy of Mercury, the energy of Hermes, and ask whatever you want. Feel in to this mercurial energy. Allow your curiosity to grow. And the messages, words, symbols that are coming through during this correspondence and connection, there's no need to judge. Allowing this energy to fill your auric field. You may notice your head and the top of your crown is feeling lighter. It might be tingling. You may be feeling this excited, motivated, passionate energy fill your entire body. This winged figure ascends back into the heavens. They say, I'm always here. If you need me, just call. And they disappear in a flash of light. Now, allow your energy to come back, focused and centralized into your heart. The crown being more centralized, the energy of the violet light coming back in to encapsulate your body, and simply allow yourself to be in this moment, allowing the experience of what just happened to settle. Breathing in and exhale. Breathing in and exhale. Breathing in and exhale. Whenever you're ready, You can open your eyes. Okay. How are we feeling? With that meditation, I really wanted to focus on those higher chakras to allow ourselves to connect in with the highest source of love, of energy, so that we can be in direct alignment to receive. And with the energy of any of the planets, that energy is available to us. I always like to think, especially from an astrological standpoint, your sun sign, your moon sign, but especially your rising sign, the planets that rule over those signs, it's like you grow up with those planets. You understand their influence, you understand their quirks and characteristics, like they're parts of your family, if you really want to go a little bit deeper into the astrology. So if you know that for this lunation, Mercury is a key player, then allow yourself to tap into the curious, rapid, innovative energy, especially given that Mercury is currently in Gemini. And if you want to go deeper in terms of an introspective journal prompt or exercise, you can look at your natal Mercury and see what sign it's in, see what house it's in. So you can also understand too, where maybe you are influenced or where you like to speak on, or what type of educational or knowledgeable sources are easy for you to relate to. As an example, my natal Mercury is in Sag in the 12th pole sign house. And I love things to be pitch quiet. When I was studying in university, I didn't want to hear a pencil drop. I personally can never work in like cafes or anything. I don't like when there's noise. Even when I'm listening to like audiobooks or podcasts, I ideally would like there to be as little noise as possible. But that's just me. And I know that. And then once I learned about astrology, I'm like, oh yes, this makes sense. And I usually am more of a optimistic fellow in terms of how I relay knowledge and information, which is very Sagittarius. So I will post some journal prompts or musings in the description of this video if you want to go deeper into this work. I'm wishing you all a benevolent new moon. And remember, the days after this new moon are extremely powerful, with the moon being in Cancer, her home sign, making a very strong reception sextile to Jupiter and Taurus. And then even Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, when the moon is in Leo, it is then in connection to Venus and Mars. And near the end of that transit, we will shift into Cancer season on the 21st of June. So we're wrapping up Gemini season. So this is a beautiful prime opportunity to plant some seeds. And in this case, align your mind, your thoughts, your words, your actions with your highest possible self and your dreams. All right. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you soon. Bye.